What up? We are here with my boy Kale, talking more liposuction, fat transfer, how to get rid of that big belly without a tummy tuck and no BMI restrictions. So we're here to answer whatever questions you might have. What's up as you're coming in here? If you can just let us know where you're watching from. Kind of interested in hearing where people are from. And get active today. If you guys have any questions or concerns or previous patients, share some stories. Tell us about your experience. People want to know. And if someone can explain to me what the hell these stars are on Facebook.
No.
You ever heard of them?
No, I think we were looking at them last time. Some sort of reward system, I think, is what Granville was saying.
Yeah, I looked it up the other day, and you can buy like 100 stars for, I think, for $1.
It's kind of like a tipping thing.
Yeah. So apparently, if you get enough stars, you can cash them out somehow. So.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
It's another way. I bet Facebook takes their piece of it, right?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Just so people can feel like they're in
Brilliant.
on the videos.
Of course.
So
What is the theme today? The theme is like being uncomfortable, right? I mean, it's a new year. We're changing some things. We're making sure that we're always progressing. We're trying to, push the envelope, how we can become better ourselves, and
Right.
basically, we're making ourselves uncomfortable again.
right. And I think the basic mindset is simply trying to attain for the best life, whatever the best life. Like and when I say these words like best life, I say that on purpose because it doesn't. Who the hell knows what it is? You have to define it, right?
What does that mean?
And so when I say best life, for me, my best life is doing different stuff. I like to travel. Right now, that's my best life. So I like to travel and see things, and experience the world, kind of walk the path. And that's, to me, what's important.
But
to you, it may not be.
No, don't sugarcoat it and just say, oh, listen, I like to travel, right? Because, I've worked with you for a while now.
Right.
And I've seen the other side where, you like to travel, but you also like to come back and you like to get things done. You like to feel accomplished. You like to put your nose to the grindstone and actually do something for the betterment of others.
Of course.
And so that's your best life,
Well,
right?
the
There's a good balance.
Best life is rich and balanced, right?
Yeah, rich
has
with
everything.
everything, right? But
Yeah.
you have a good balance of everything.
Yeah, and I didn't mean money. I meant like it's full of a lot of different things. Like that's just one aspect of my life. Like my personal life, I like to travel. I like to do things. But my work, like obviously, I enjoy doing this, and it really, over the years, the thing that's been so gratifying is just working and being able to see how people have progressed and see how they have improved, and not only just the way that they look, but the way that they feel. And when we see that publicly, it's super cool.
Yeah.
What's up, Sarah?
Is that Sarah from Hawaii by any chance?
Sarah
Oh,
Rivas.
Sarah Rivas.
Yeah.
What's up, Sarah?
Let's see. You do chin lipo.
Absolutely, we do
Yeah.
chin lipo. If there's fat on any portion of your body, we can remove it likely. Okay.
Yeah, the chin's one of those things that people hide from pictures. They hide,
Good example.
and it's kind of, they're also, I've seen people that they'll avoid seeing people in public because, say, you have an old friend from high school and you don't want them to see that you look a certain way,
Right.
or you haven't seen someone in a long time and you don't want them to, you feel like you're whatever, you're fat, or you have this oval face and you feel that that's not you. So a lot of people hide from life in general, and it sucks. It sucks.
And when you get to have one of these chins, it definitely makes you look a lot older than you typically are. Look how youthful she looks. And, it's just part of the aging process. You're right. Some of us have this congenital fat pad underneath there, the bullfrog fat pad, and we can definitely treat that. And it gives youth to your face, and it makes you look a lot younger. So
The thing that I like about this is it really defines, you can see how it defines the jawline. So the reason and how that happens is we draw the line where we're going up above the jawlines. We're taking everything up into this lower portion above the jawline, and then we go everything below the jawline as well, which basically uncovers this jawline, so you can see the shape that we can create with that more ovalness of the face. And so it'll give the illusion that the face is elongated by narrowing out this bottom part here, and creating that jawline. And then obviously when you turn to the side, you get that side profile when it'll go from your neck, your chin to your neck where you fill in right here. Nobody likes that. So we create that. Yeah, that's a good view.
The Alfred Hitchcock. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And as you age, that only gets worse.
Yep. That muscle that's underneath there, the platysma muscle, has laxity in it, and when you add fat to that area, it just, it's a recipe for this big bullfrog protrusion. So yeah, it's one of those things that when you treat it appropriately, you suck out the fat, you're going to hit a certain size, and then if you do some skin tightening treatments with an ultrasound, venous Versa machine, whatever, you just tighten that up and it looks amazing.
Brittany Knowles, we were just talking about you today, Brittany.
Brittany, we saw your doppelganger, well, your same body type. We worked on her today. She was amazing. It was basically a mirror image of your case, very deceptive in how she carried her weight. She had a lot more than what we had expected and anticipated, and we worked really hard on her. I actually encouraged her to look you up in the group. And maybe even contact you. So you might be getting contacted by one of the clients that we did today. She did amazing. She absolutely did amazing, and she's going to look amazing. I saw a couple of pictures of yours, Brittany, recently. You and your husband, congratulations. I think it's 2 years or something like that. You look great. Your face, you didn't have a body pic, but what I did see is I saw this youthful face, and it looked like you were really doing some good things and making sure that you're living your best life.
Lynette, what's up? We're showing your pictures in your memory. I see Texas is in the house, California.
Was that Colgan?
Yeah, Coif Glam.
Coif Glam. How many liters do we take out? We take out whatever's safe for your body, okay?
Sometimes.
We get super aggressive and we make sure that your body, you're a healthy candidate. Make sure that your body can tolerate it, and I oftentimes say we can take out as much as your body will allow us, okay?
We can take out enough to get these awesome results.
Yep.
That's what you should be more concerned about. Grand Rapids. That is one place I haven't been.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah.
It's cold right now.
I feel like I need to go there. Do a little ice fishing. Have you ever done ice fishing?
I have. Not in like the traditional sense like they do in the Midwest, but
Right.
in Arizona they have some high elevation. The lakes will freeze over, and we used to go out there as Boy Scouts and catch some trout. It was fun, super fun.
I feel like you need to drink beer. Like,
Boy Scouts typically don't promote beer.
I know, but
at that
like
age,
ice fishing though, it's like just. Okay, do you have to get a lymphatic massage after lipo? You wanna take that?
So Nicole, listen, what you don't. It's not mandatory, but what we found is it definitely helps. Okay, there's a lot of people that have a bunch of different body styles. Okay, and their inflammatory response or their healing process is different, and we found that lymphatic massages absolutely help. So if you're one of those lucky people, like when I did my wife, she didn't have to have any lymphatic massages. No, I was there at the house, but we really didn't do any lymphatic massages, and she turned out great. On the other hand, we've had them to where you need a lot of them.
So I didn't do lymphatic massages when I got mine, and they didn't even do it back then. It was like 15 years ago. But with that said, I went back to work right away, and it sounds like it's a great story and everything. But then I swelled up a lot more than most people, and the swelling lasted for like a year, right? And this is what I do, right? So I can't go back to work and start complaining about whatever. But after a year, all the stuff went away, and it turned out great. But I think that there's probably room for improvement, and maybe I don't know if that's lymphatic massage or not. However, I think a lot of people talk about that it makes a big difference.
Sure.
Lynette's in here. She's liking her pictures in the background, I think. Still no regrets. Awesome. And Brittany says that she's getting ready to go pump some iron right now. Good to hear. If you guys want to hit the share button over on Facebook, I'd appreciate it. I know I see a couple of you tagging your friends. That's awesome. And if you know people that would benefit from this, and this is the people that we're talking about are the larger individuals that struggle with losing weight. Maybe they've gone up and down. They're the yo-yo diet, changing in weight, and they're so sick and tired of being limited by their body, and it's ready to change. And I want to capture those people right at the moment when they are ready to change their life forever. Because what I've found is with the the liposuction, we've been able to use it as a catalyst to catapult people forward into their life and into their change, and make a huge change in a short period of time, which excites you and gets you moving forward, and that kind of gets to your momentum.
08 Deluxe Harley says, oh, I think I know who that is. She says, you guys are the best, really have an eye to see our best body potential. You know what? I wanted to comment on that little comment that you put on there today, because as we were working on our client today, one of the clients today, I'm always fascinated, as you are, and you actually articulated today and just kind of, reiterated why we do this. When you have a patient on the table and you start, doing that wrap around or doing whatever intervention, and their basic canvas starts to show through, it's so super rewarding, right? And you start to see that curve in the hip, and you start to see that elongated torso, and see what their body, what the potential is and what they should be. Whatever life has gotten in the way and added a couple extra pounds in those areas, but it is super rewarding to see that transformation and actually see their body go through that.
And it's crazy how it happens, like literally right in front of your face. And with how we do the patterns that we go through is in the movements, and changing the last movement is putting you on your back with your face up, and it's where we get to observe and see how all the change, because when you're on your side it doesn't look the same, and obviously when you're on your belly it's not the same, but when you flip back onto your back again, and all of a sudden the sides are done, the front's done, everything looks nice and clean, and you get to see what your body looked like underneath that blanket of fat that was covering you before.
What was hiding.
Right.
What was hiding. Yep.
Okay, do you charge more if the BMI is high? So it's yes and no. We don't utilize BMI to determine this stuff, but it's more so larger individuals, it's more work. So the way that we're determining pricing at this point is it's a surface area. So the size of an area is about the size of your hand, and we're pretty generous with the sizes, but larger individuals, when we have to cover a larger area, it also takes into account the volume that we're removing. We have limitations and that we try to stay within as far as the amount of numbing medication that we can utilize. So when we try to attack a larger area, we have to use more numbing medication, which puts us in that realm of having medical issues.
By the way, thanks Kathy for chiming in. So here's a question: do we transfer fat to the face at all? And why would you need that?
So it is possible, and I have done quite a few of those in the past. So fat transfer is utilized just like in the breast and the butt. It's used as a filler. It's a natural filler. So fat is taken from one part of the body, and it can be injected into the face. So a lot of times we'll fill in the cheekbones here, fill in these lines in this area here. You can put fat in the lips as well. You can put fat in the wrinkles that you get down in these areas down here. You can create shape of jawline. I mean, there's lots of things that you can do with it. It's not something that I've specialized in. I do a lot of. I think that there's a little bit more that may need to be improved as far as the technology, but the results are still pretty good. They're just, I guess the one downside would be is that in some way the results can be unpredictable. I think that would be the good way to say it. And whereas in comparison to the fillers, those are predictable, but they don't last. So fat transfer is less predictable because you're not sure exactly what's going to stay. However, whatever stays lasts forever. So it's got its pros and cons.
And typically, the patients that do the fat transfer to the face are the older patients, because as we age, we start to lose volume, especially right around the cheekbones.
Brittany says, we don't know what BMI is.
Girl. Brittany, is it cold up there?
Where's she
in North Dakota? She's in North Dakota or South Dakota? I can't remember.
It's got to be cold up there.
Listen, it's nice here. I mean, we wear jackets just because we don't get to wear jackets all the time, and it's kind of like a novelty, but it's literally, you can just go outside in a t-shirt. So that's why we live in Vegas. That and the food, right?
Trisha, she's joking about the whole BMI thing. We know what it is. We don't utilize it to limit people, whereas a lot of other clinics will say that they don't treat anyone above a certain BMI. And we don't do that. We don't limit them based off the BMI. So that's basically the answer there as far as that. We just as far as like the pricing, it's not directly correlated with BMI. So it's not, just because you have a higher BMI it costs more. It's just what you're treating. It's the surface areas that you're treating, and obviously when you have a larger BMI, you have potentially more surface area that you would need treated, which would you'd need a bigger procedure.
I finally found a fat transfer to the face. It took me all this time, so you guys are gonna have to talk about it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, there we go.
And just like you said, it's an older
Yeah.
lady.
So this is fat transfer of the face is more of an anti-aging type procedure here, and these are individuals. So you might be like in your 40s and you're doing temporary fillers, and you've been doing temporary fillers for perhaps years, and the fillers begin to get very expensive. They are very expensive. It's like like $600 a vial.
Yep, $600-700 a vial.
And at some point you may end up needing 4, 5, 6, 7 vials to accomplish what you're looking to accomplish. And so, once the cost starts getting up there, it starts to make more sense to try something like fat transfer to start filling larger volumes or larger deficits. So you can see, I don't know how closely you can see up in this picture, but she's kind of hollowing out in the cheekbones here, and the volume, because of the fullness is lacking in the cheeks here, it causes the indentations on the eyelids here. It also, you'll get how things will start to fold into this area here. She's also experienced under the chin here. She was a smoker, so she kind of got these different wrinkles as well. But when you fill in, you add volume to these areas, it's essentially, it stretches the skin, because as we discussed last week, when people dehydrate, just like an apricot dehydrates, you start to get these wrinkles, and the skin starts to tighten up. But if you can expand out and kind of plump up the skin, you'll get to stretch those wrinkles out a little bit and give you a more youthful look. So thanks, Granville.
There was a question from a girl that said Don's Dolls. So I assume Don's Dolls is probably some group or a lady that is like maybe an advocate for another plastic surgeon or cosmetic surgeon, and she's asking, where are we located? So we're located in Henderson, Nevada, which is basically connected to Las Vegas. Super easy to travel into Vegas. Flights are cheap, a lot of hotels, very convenient, and it works out really good for everybody. So,
all right, thank you for sharing, Rose. I appreciate that. Share. Annie, we're currently that 20% off thing that ended a while ago.
So Norin says, can you fix previous BBLs? So yes, Norin, we do a lot of revisions from other people that have gone to other providers that maybe promoted their skills to be amazing and they were less than stellar. We get a lot of clients that went in and had a tummy tuck, and when they did the tummy tuck, they took out just a little bit of fat, and there's still a significant amount behind there. We basically get them on the table, and we do our thing, and we give them amazing shape even after having had a tummy tuck. The dirty secret to the tummy tucks are they cut a lot. Okay, you get a big old scar, and they do a little bit of liposuction, and they don't do a whole lot of contouring when they do the tummy tucks. So, yeah, we do a lot of revisions. We do a lot of tummy tucks, do-overs. We don't actually do any of the cutting. We just take the fat out. And then as far as BBLs, yeah, oftentimes when you have gone to somebody and maybe got some abnormal results, uneven results, we can even some of that stuff out.
So can you discuss a little bit about what kind of potential concerns you might have if it's like say you got liposuction and a BBL done by someone else, say let's just say a year ago, and you didn't get enough. I feel like I didn't get enough fat out, and I didn't get enough fat put on the butt. What kind of issues would you anticipate, or could potentially be because of that?
So to affect the next results, is that what you're saying?
So
like if we're gonna do it?
Yeah, so they're coming to us and they want to get they want to get a revision because they want more fat taken out of the area that was originally treated, which we'll say the 360, and they didn't get the volume enough put onto the butt. So they want bigger volume in the butt and smaller volume in the waist.
So the first thing that we have to address is perception, okay? Because maybe they did take a significant amount of volume out, and maybe they did put as much as their body could handle in the butt.
Right.
Maybe their body just won't tolerate it, okay?
Right.
So bottom line is,
So it's not their fault necessarily.
so oftentimes, yeah, it's not their fault. It's not the other guy's fault. Okay, maybe the other guy just wasn't as refined as he should have been. Who knows? There's a lot of factors there. But what we do is, first off, we listen to what your concerns are. We listen to what your perception is, what you would like. Okay, some of the things that can make it difficult is when we do any type of procedure and we take out fat, scar tissue forms, and when you go in for a revision, it's just a little tougher to do. It's not impossible, but it's a little tougher to do, and you know it can definitely be one of those harder cases that we've ended up doing. I mean, we've done a lot of them. As far as like transfer to the butt, yeah, there's scar tissue in the butt as well. You know, your body only has a certain max of space that you can actually fit fat into. You know, the best analogy for that is, you know, some of these females that come in and they want to have these gigantic, nice, super round boobs. Well, oftentimes their anatomy is not that. And so we fill them up and we put as much fat as we can that's safe for them so that we think that we'll have great results. But sometimes just the anatomy is off and it's not going to be super round. So we can work with whatever canvas they have.
Did you hear my analogy the other day when I told this patient?
What's that?
So like if you go to Disneyland and you buy a Mickey Mouse balloon, it's never going to come out round. It's always going to have the ears because that's the shape of the balloon. And same thing with your breasts, like they have a certain shape. They are what they are. Now we can add volume in different places and have some play on it, but it's never going to be, you know, a round balloon if it started out as a different shape. So just imagine that, you know, when you're trying to get, you know, more fat put into any part of your body, we can make them bigger, and there's a little bit of play there, but you know, got to be realistic with what's possible for your body. Rose has been a follower since February of 2012. That's awesome.
Rose. So Reiki says, what if I get lipo and skin tightening and then I decide to have kids? Will it mess anything up?
No.
I mean, what is it? So bottom line is, kids are one of those life things that happen, right? And they're amazing and they're very rewarding when you're ready for them. Okay. I mean, I don't think that I would necessarily, you know, not have kids because I want to mess up my lipo. I really wouldn't, because like, I don't know.
My sister had 2 kids after she had lipo, and so fat is fat. It doesn't matter. Pre-pregnancy, post-pregnancy, it's the same fat. It's either, you know, when you gain weight, the fat cells swell up, and when you lose weight, they shrink. If they're not there, they don't go through that process. So it doesn't matter. The only difference is you're going to have some scar tissue and you'll have adhesions and stuff that it won't cause an issue, but you know, you just have to be aware of it.
So Dawn's doll says, my BBL didn't take. Would this likely be the same for round 2? So there can be a lot of factors on why that fat was not viable. I mean, it could be the way they harvest the fat. I mean, did they use any energy operating machines whenever they were doing it? Did they, you know, was there any pressure that was applied to the area? There's a lot of different reasons on why that fat might take. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the next time it's not gonna, you know, come out perfect.
Yeah, so I've heard a couple of patients that's happened to, and some of the stories that I've heard is they went to Mexico, and Mexico's rules are different than ours. They put a compression garment on the fat transfer area, which is completely opposite of what we do. Now, I don't know what's right or wrong. I'm not going to pretend like I know that we're 100% doing it right, because I don't know. But this is what I've seen is the people that put pressure on the butt after the procedure and the people that don't put pressure on the butt, hands down, the people that don't put pressure get better results. So I'm not sure what your situation was, but if we can alleviate some of the issues and some of the things that were causing the problem, then you can maybe get different results.
So Reiki is asking, back to that pregnancy question, will it make the skin loose again? Absolutely. So listen, your body is an amazing thing, right? The human body is just phenomenal in the way it goes about, the way things develop and happen to it. When females get pregnant, yep, you have a fetus that grows and the size increases and that skin stretches out. But you know what? The skin does come back as well.
So Mustang Sally says, how long after having Coolsculpting can you get real lipo? So Coolsculpt, let's talk about what that is first so people understand. So Coolsculpting is the use of a freezing technology that is meant to, in the freezing process, they say that it breaks up the cellular membrane, and essentially when you freeze the fat afterwards, you kind of crunch it up, and supposedly it breaks the fat, the cell membrane wall, and the fat will then be absorbed by your body. Now, the fact that Sally's asking this question leads me to believe that that's not entirely what happens in the real world. And I've seen this many times where the results from from the Coolsculpting are not spectacular. In fact, the studies have shown that it's only meant to penetrate. It penetrates only 2 inches, and of the 2 inches, the expectation is to only get about 1/4 of a change. So you're talking a 1/2 inch difference. So imagine a person. We have people that have layers of fat that are 6-7 inches, and having a 1/4 inch difference is like a drop in the bucket, and certainly not worth the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 that you might pay for the Coolsculpting. Now back to the question: how soon after Coolsculpting can you get the liposuction? Obviously, you didn't necessarily get the results, so you were trying to do liposuction. Now, my experience with people who have had Coolsculpting is it causes it does something. It causes scarring underneath the skin, which leads to scar tissue, and it makes it a little bit more of a challenge to remove fat in that area. It hasn't been a major problem in the past. We were able to break through the connective tissue and the scar tissue and get the fat out in the area. So how long afterwards? The generic answer to that in medicine is like 6 months, right? Just wait 6 months after everything. And the reason for that is that after about 6 months, your body goes through its healing process, and the tissue will mature and go back to a state in which we can work on it just a little bit easier. There's a big inflammatory process in the first 6 months.
So Don Stahl says, that's awesome. I'm in Vegas. I need to look you guys up. So if you want to look us up, we've got a couple of links that we posted on the Instagram and Facebook pages. Go to our website, submit some photos into the job form. We'll take a look at you, and we'll schedule a time to talk on the phone to discuss what your expectations are and what your goals are, and see if we can work together to get them done.
And if you haven't checked out our private Facebook group, highly recommend going on there. All these pictures that you see from behind us are individuals who are actually there sharing their own pictures. So you can connect with them directly if you're interested. In a way, it's kind of like having a friend that's had the procedure. You can ask them personal questions, and they're not our employees, so you're going to get a real answer, and it might not always be great. See, Brittany's talking.
But it'll be honest, is what it'll be. And it'll be, just exactly what you're looking for, okay? So Brittany, she makes this comment, it's insane how fast you change on the table. I saw my hip bone immediately or right away. Hadn't seen that little stinker in forever. Yeah, and you were one of those deceptive body types where you walk through the door and with all your clothes on, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a relatively quick procedure. And then we started working on you. I thought, oh my goodness, what have we?
It's like compact, and she kept everything in nice and tight. It didn't fold over. It was still hanging right there, but the layer was thick.
Yep. And oh my gosh, what did her brother say? Hey, no homo, sis, but you look great. That saying just absolutely cracks me up whenever your brother said that. So.
Okay, so is that okay? Yeah, it's
K
like seeing larger people.
Yeah, listen, Kate Dallas, if you want to see some amazing results on some bigger patients that get neglected by everybody else, why? Because they're not an ideal BMI or they're not an ideal candidate, then jump on our support group, jump on our Facebook page, whatever, and take a look at all these photos. These will blow your mind. They, when we started doing these, they definitely made us excited, and that's why we continue to do them this way. So.
This is funny. Lynette says, because my boobs are still big, I still buy shirts in a size large. But today I said that I wanted to try on the shirt. So she tried on this size small, and her mom and her were like, "Oh my God, she has a waist." And I think you'll be surprised that it totally changes like the types of clothes. I mean, once you start wearing that form-fitting clothes, it opens up a whole new world to you.
Yeah, in fact, that's the joke oftentimes that we say after we finish your liposuction, right? And we get rid of that gigantic front protruding eye-focusing area on the front of the belly. We say, guess what? As an added bonus, we gave you a boob job.
Right. The boobs
Because
stick out.
the boobs are now a lot bigger in relationship to this area, and it makes you look like you had some work done upstairs.
And then similarly, in the backside, you get that booty pop.
Mm-hmm.
When you take out that fat in that lower back, it makes that booty pop out, and Granville's gonna be like right on cue.
Take 2 in 1.
Boom.
Front and the back.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's one of those girls that, for whatever reason, just health got away, and she's reclaiming her body. Look at that. 256, 238. Look at the just the visual presentation though. You know, she's got this big lower ridge, what we call a pannus, a gigantic pannus. Sure, she's wearing a darker dress, but you can actually see the shape now, and it's significantly smaller. So,
Like, that to me is so exciting because I see a person that can now go out and walk. I see a person that can now get on the floor with her kids or grandkids and play on the floor and be able to get up from the floor. I see a person that can go up and down stairs without being out of breath. Like this to me is life changing, and it just depends on what you want to do, and what are you hiding from right now. What are you not doing that you really want to do, but you make that bullshit excuse that I'm too heavy or I'm too old. Like, stop making excuses and start living your best life.
and it's helping things with her body system as well as from the medical side, helping with, you know, the hypertension and the diabetic states and the hyperlipidemic states. I mean, it's doing so much for her health by having done this procedure, and you know, now she's owning life.
So Brittany says it's negative 23.
So does that mean she's down 23? Oh no, that's how
the
cold.
temperature.
Oh.
We have to have temperature.
Oh,
I know that's like bad. Ashley, what's
Ouch.
up?
Listen, I might just go hang out at the pool today just for you, Brittany. Okay, so Style Glam asked, do we do ab etching? I think ab etching is a little gimmicky. Basically what you're doing is you're taking and you're putting detail in the actual fat layer. Okay, it's okay for like a little while, but then what happens if you add or lose weight? Then it distorts the results. It's just gimmicky, so negative.
Is it ab etching?
No ab etching. Okay, so Glow Up Beauty asks, and it continues on. She asks, how long is the process? Okay, well, the process hopefully is lifelong. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you exactly why it's lifelong. Because at the moment that you've decided that you're ready to make a change and you're ready to go ahead and put in some work and actually change what's going on in your life, okay, we do a small section. Okay, you show up at our facility, you know, we put you on the table. In the matter of a couple of hours, we can dramatically change your body habitus. But once you leave, you have this healing process, and then you have this mindset that you should change a lot of lifestyle habits and continue to progress and further change. So it's a long process, you know. That answer is probably the most appropriate. But as far as like the liposuction itself, only a couple of hours to change what you've got going on with your body.
It's life, right? We call it a process, but it's really just our life. Every day, you gotta show up and try and be better. Kathy says, please explain why tummy tuck is often not needed with your lipo technique. So, you know, I've been doing this for 15 years, thousands and thousands of procedures, and I've seen and, you know, tried different techniques, and gotten different results. But about 5, 6, 7 years ago, I started doing these different techniques on the abdomen and just getting more aggressive, and treating larger patients, the people that were turned away elsewhere. They had nowhere else to go, but they still wanted help. and I started helping these individuals. And through trial and error, I figured out different techniques that would get these, you know, like realistic, natural results on the stomach without a tummy tuck. And all this BS that these plastic surgeons keep telling you that you have to have a tummy tuck, it's just simply not true. And it's not that I show this with one person. This isn't just one person. This is like consistently, I would say like 90% of the people are losing that fold, that hanging over part. I mean, it's so consistent now. And it's like, I mean, I keep saying it's not magic, but it almost is, where you start like this and you get off the table and the fold's gone. And it literally retracts right there, right in front of our eyes, right on the table, it retracts back. Now, it's afterwards, things are loose because we just broke up a lot of connective tissue, but it's gone. It's gone, like right in front of your face. And we take pictures. I love doing it, like taking a picture afterwards so the patient can see what it looks like immediately on the table. Now, afterwards, you just have to realize that we get those results quickly, but there's the healing process, and that takes time. Sure. And everybody's a little bit different. I'd say, it takes a full year for the process to continue and your body to change.
So, Kathy, what I also want to point out is, listen, maybe there's 100 plastic surgeons or cosmetic surgeons that would say, I'm not okay with this result. Mm-hmm. I'm not okay with the way that the skin looks. Well, you know what? From where we started, they wouldn't have touched this person. They would have not have touched her. They would have made her lose a bunch of weight, and then they would have been, absolutely, we've got to do a tummy tuck in order to keep that skin nice and flat. Listen, that's 1 week after, okay? And she's going to continue to heal over the course of a year, and that's 7 weeks. And you know what? A lot of people don't want a big old scar, big old smiley face. I mean, that is pretty amazing, pretty remarkable to go from that to that, in just a matter of a couple of hours.
Right.
I mean, you're literally on our table, 2-3 hours, and you're done. You're done.
Hey, you want to see the optical illusion here? Did the boobs get bigger in the after photo?
No, that's a good point.
Please put that as your. I want to see what you guys think. This is a total optical illusion, because to me, it's like clear they obviously look a lot bigger. But
we did not do a fat transfer.
Yeah, we did not do a fat transfer, but it's clear, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks significantly bigger, but this is the illusion that liposuction creates. By making one area smaller, we can put focus onto another area. And this, again, as I discussed earlier, we do this with the butt. When we take the waistline, we can create that hourglass figure, and taking the fat out in the lower back, and it makes the booty pop out. And the same thing with the breasts here. It's an illusion, but it's an awesome illusion, right?
Okay, so Gabriella, I want to address this. She said she got a quote, and it was, and she perceived it to be high. Okay, listen, I don't know what, everybody has their thresholds. Everybody has their perceptions on what it should and shouldn't cost. Okay, this is one of those things that can absolutely change your life. How much is that worth to you? Okay, most of these clients that are undergoing, that we're doing this to, they're not getting anybody to do this to them. They are basically saying, yeah, sorry, we're not going to touch you.
They say it's too hard working on people this big. That's why nobody wants to do it. So
it's too risky. You're not going to have the results. You're not going to like it. Listen, Gabriella, I'm sorry that your perception is that it's too high. I mean, bottom line is, what we can tell you is, after doing this procedure, your entire life is going to change. Okay.
How much did that girl get quoted? The patient today was quoted how much? Somewhere else.
$20K for an abdominal 360, right? And we weren't anywhere close to that.
Right. And this is the one we got a lot more fat than we anticipated.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, I don't know what your perception is, and I apologize if you thought that it was on the high side, but bottom line is, we work extremely hard to make sure that your results are amazing, okay? And if you think that something like this might be a life changer for you, then come see us, okay?
And you're paying not for the procedure right now, you're paying for the 15 years and the thousands and thousands of procedures that we've done in order to have the ability to help you today and get these kind of results. Because you can go pay a lot less, you can go somewhere and they may not get you these results. And what happens if you don't get those results? Like the person was asking questions earlier about getting a revision. You have to start seeking out someone to fix it, and believe me, it's a nightmare trying to fix these things and get it the way you want. It's like a slippery slope. Once you start trying and you don't get it right, you have to try again, and that means more money, more time, more recovery. So Pay more and get it done right the first time.
So Ms. Pooh, we don't have just one set price. Submit your photos, we'll take a look at them, and then we'll tell you what our perception of what your body is. We'll listen to what you would like to have happen to your body and how you would like it to look, and we'll come up with a game plan and customize it to you.
Mustang Sally. So you're stuck in a contract. You're scheduled for Wednesday. Should I just get fillers on my face with the money spent, then save for lipo? So I missed out. Was she asking? She was the one asking about fat transfer? I thought that was on the other channel. I'm sorry, Mustang Sally. I guess maybe I wasn't paying attention. You're stuck in some yeah, I don't know. Without all the information, I don't want to give you the wrong advice. Okay, how can I join the private group? So the private group is on Facebook. So you're going to just search groups on Facebook, the My Shape Lipo support group, and just request entry there, and we'll get you in.
So on the Facebook group that we have, which is kind of public, on one of the banners, you have to go down there, and I think it's under community or other groups. Click on that, and then the support group will come up, and then you have to answer a couple of questions and request to jump into the private group. It's a private group, and it's catered towards our female clientele, and we did that so that, you know, oftentimes girls get a little embarrassed about sharing stuff with the guys, and so we kind of made it exclusive to just female so that you guys can share all you want, and just, you know, it's non-judgmental.
No haters.
Yep, absolutely. We don't want a bunch of guys creeping on there, so sorry, dudes.
We're gonna kick you out if you start hating on people and saying mean things.
It's only for positivity.
Lynette was doubling up on that.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Look at this one. This is a well-known client. Look at the size difference right here. Same thing. Did she get a boob job?
Right. It's like it even changes the shape, like the way that they hang and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I don't know. But if you look at the proportions and the angles, you can start to see how in the past, she was like this, where she was wider at the waist, and afterwards, we change in the waist, and she's bigger up top, and then it comes down to the waist. So that's the power of the hourglass figure, and the hourglass figure just creates these illusions, and you can see how like the lower body even looks better, and we didn't do anything in the lower body. So this is the cool stuff. This is all, you know, why we call this cosmetic, is we're just kind of changing the perceptions and changing the views to make your body look a certain way. But you know what? It's never perfect. I get these girls coming in, they're like, how do I get rid of this? And they get in all these like weird contorted positions that like they cause dimpling on their butts or something like that. They're like, how do I get rid of that? I'm like, well, stand up straight. Don't do that, and you'll avoid making those problems. So, you know, you have to be aware of what you're causing on your own in many cases.
So the Hudson K Dallas says, I'm 48G. Do you do lipo on the back as well? Yes, we do lipo on the back, on the arms, front of the abdomen, the legs. We do it anywhere you have some fat. Okay.
Yes, yes, you had a question about pricing here. Yes, so you want to get a consultation, and so with the consultation, you send in pictures so we can see what we're dealing with and assess what you need and what you want, and then give you a customized price based on what we're treating. And our pricing structure at this point is we utilize $12.99 per area, and the size of the area is about the surface area the size of a hand, so you can kind of get a basic idea. We're trying to make this fair for you and make it to where we can get the maximum amount of fat out of a given area to get the biggest, most dramatic results. And you can see this. We take that belly off, and all of a sudden, you got assets. Look at that, butt's popping out, boobs are popping out. Big difference.
All right, so J McFar 901 says, if 4 liters is the max one can take out safely in specific states, why do those who get large volume lipo get more taken out? Why is that allowed? I don't know. I mean, I heard Florida has restrictions. You know, I don't know. Like, if you really want to see something really interesting, there's some providers in the Dominican Republic. I don't think it's safe, but they are really going super aggressive, ultra aggressive, and they're really like taking out a lot of fat. So I mean, I don't know. I can't address what states allow to take out how much and what. All I know is we make the decision to take out what is safe for your body. Okay.
And we monitor during the procedure to maintain and make sure that that you're doing well. And if you're not doing well, then we scale things back a little bit to accommodate. Okay, Mustang. Now I should remind. Okay, she was the one that did the Coolsculpting stuff. So she's scheduled to do the Coolsculpting. Yeah, so I would do that. I would get fillers or do something else. You utilize that money that you spent there for something else. If you're one of these people that's your ideal weight already, and you just have a little bit to get out, a little bit of change that you're looking for, and you don't want to take the risks of doing something more, aggressive like liposuction, then Coolsculpt might be right for you. But if you are bigger and you want big dramatic change, Coolsculpt is hands down it's not going to work for you.
Super gimmicky.
Yeah.
If you're like most people, okay. It's only for a certain select few.
Right, very few. See, Lynette says, I'm happy to share that the results stand the test of time as long as you're taking care of yourself. That's so important. It doesn't work for the long run unless you work.
Yeah. So that's why we said, going back to that, how long is the process? The process is lifelong. Okay. We hope that this is a springboard to make you change a lot of your lifestyle choices and get healthy and make sure that you can live the best life that you can live, for a longer amount of time.
Yeah. So Kathy says, tummy tuck is harder to recoup from. So glad there's a better way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are, cutting portion of your body, and it's got to heal. And, standing up, moving around is definitely difficult. There are a lot more restrictions as far as the tummy tuck. It's just a lot more invasive.
Hey, what happens if they cut the skin too tight? They pull it tight.
So I wish I should probably give that picture to Granville. I got a picture. I work in emergency medicine. I have for a long time, and I saw a tummy tuck gone wrong where the skin was a little too tight and there wasn't blood flow to all portions of the surgical incision, and a large majority of the skin basically necrosed or died off. Yeah, so had to be redone.
Imagine you can't even stand up straight because it's so tight there. And then you got to wonder, okay, when are you ever going to be able to stand up straight? So the reality is what happens is it eventually heals, but in order to get back your full range of motion and be able to stand up straight, you have to essentially stretch the scar. So that's why you see these scars are sometimes like 2-3 inches thick. Like the scar is 2 or 3 inches thick. You got to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yep.
Knowledge is power, right?
Yeah, Don's dolls. Yes, listen, we do. Our procedure is tumescent liposuction. Okay, we use local anesthesia. We inject the medication right into the area that we're working. This was invented by a dermatologist, Dr. Klein, back in the 80s. Dermatologists have been using this tumescent this tumescent anesthesia for many other cases. It's been around for a long time, and we inject the medication right into the area where we're working. You're awake the entire time. It's the safest way to go, okay? Absolutely safe. We do not do general anesthesia.
Yeah. So will there be another contest for free lipo? I wouldn't put it past us at some point in the future, but I have no plans for it right at the moment. Okay, Mustang went to Ideal Image is the other place I was talking about.
Yeah, so listen, Mustang Sally, there are a lot of places that want to take your money, okay? And a lot of, med spas have, Botox fillers, laser machines, Coolsculpting machines, Venus Versa machines. I mean, they have a lot of stuff, okay? Bottom line is, Botox, you can't argue with Botox. A lot of people use it. It's great, okay? Great for preventing wrinkles and making one look younger. Fillers Can add volume to certain areas, absolutely. But when it comes to Coolsculpting, it's just, to me, it's one of those gimmicky things. It really is. Okay, most people do not qualify for a good Coolsculpting procedure. They don't, and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, no, you need like 4 or 5 treatments, and it's going to be $3,500." To me, that's super expensive.
I've like, it's been so frustrating talking to people that have gone through the Coolsculpting process, then have to come spend money to get treated in the same area. It's like you spend $5,000 and get mediocre results at best, and then now you got to spend another $6, $7, $8,000 to get it redone. And then the problem is like, what if you go to the wrong person to do the liposuction, and then now you have to get that redone again? It's like this. It can be extremely expensive, and people don't even realize that it can get very, very expensive very quickly with these procedures. That's why it's so important to get it done the right time, right the first time, so you never have to do it again.
And this goes back to that one lady that made the comment that she thought it was a little bit high. Okay, that was her perception. Listen, we do everything right the first time, so that we don't have to redo it, and you don't have problems. Okay, so you have all of this body of work that we can show you. You have access to all of these previous clients. You can do your homework. You can ask all of the appropriate questions, and if it's right for you, we can guarantee that we're going to actually get some results done. And it's not going to be, well, I saw some doctored photos on their website. I think they might do a good job. These are actually legit photos.
So Mustangs, she's got a saga going on, long story, but the place is not willing to allow her to transfer her stuff. So if you can utilize those funds, I know that they don't want to give you any money back, but if you could utilize those funds for something that would be more beneficial to you, like maybe a laser facial treatment or lasers, hair removal, or something else that is not the Coolsculpting. I mean, look, if you're not gonna get liposuction and you want to try to stick to non-surgical stuff, then that's you can go ahead and try that. But I think in the long run, you're gonna want the results of liposuction. And if that's the case, let's just assume that is the case, then I would save your money now, and then maybe it takes you a few years to save up for the liposuction, but at least you're doing it the right way.
So if you guys out there on Instagram land can answer this question, is there a required BMI? So T. Salich asked that question. We've addressed it quite a few times. No, we don't have a BMI restriction. This right here, wanted to bring this one up since Granville put it up. This lady was in her 50s. She is in her 50s, okay? She had a very protruding abdomen, okay? Look how flat that is after a couple of months. And just to address the pain that some people have as far as their perception goes, that, oh my gosh, it was painful, yeah. She never put a frown on her face. Never put a frown on her face, not the entire time. I mean, I went to town on her. Trevor came in, and she was just happy the entire time. So, and then that happened again last week. We had another larger area volume patient that we did, and she was the same way. Never put a frown on her face. So
it's amazing what's possible.
Yeah, when you're committed and you know exactly what you're in store for, and you know that this is going to be uncomfortable because change is uncomfortable, then that's where it's at. And your body is you're gonna walk out of our clinic and it's gonna look amazing, and you're gonna have a new life.
So Kathy says, when coming from out of state, recommendations on where to stay and aftercare products, plus is it better to fly or drive? Driving would be a longer time without moving. Okay, so we, lots of people, like 80% of our patients are flying in from out of state. So obviously, flying or driving is your option. However, the shorter period of flying would probably be better in most cases. The precautions that you want to take when traveling, you want to decrease the chances for blood clots, so you want to be walking around regularly, which means on a flight, obviously you can get up and walk to the bathroom. Driving, if you're going to drive, you just want to stop every hour or so, get out and walk around. You can also utilize compression stockings to decrease the chance for blood clots.
Yep. So there was a question, or a statement from Jay McFarr, 901 from Michigan, says that went to a couple of doctors in Michigan. They said they had to do a tummy tuck because she had too much damage after her pregnancy. Hey, Granville, can you show my sister-in-law?
Definitely.
Yeah, so she had 4 pregnancies. okay, and 3 of them were 10 pounds plus, okay.
They always claim that somehow they're the muscles. You know, they say everybody, you need a tummy tuck because of the muscles. We need to sew up the
fix
muscles.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, I mean, I don't know, okay. To me, this is 4 pregnancies, okay. Extremely stretched out skin, okay. So
Just
I don't know.
question to yourself: what if there's another way?
Yeah.
And if you can wrap your head around that, like what if there's another way, then maybe you'll be open to doing something like liposuction without a tummy tuck, because we've been told that the only way for most of these women is to get a tummy tuck, and if you believe that, then you're gonna naturally gravitate towards tummy tuck.
Yep.
Maritza Medina, what's up? I just saw your updated photos on the group. I think that was her. I hope that was her.
So Jay McFarr, listen, if you don't have such a frowny face on your body habitus, oh my gosh, we will be able to help you, absolutely. Listen, we don't talk about how much we take out what's safe for your body, okay? So, I mean, it's just a number. Every body is different, okay? But yeah, listen, if you fit into this category and you think that, you know, what you're seeing here, these pictures, these are not doctored pictures. These are basically sent in from our patients. And, you know, so if you look like something like this, we can give you results that look like this.
You know, Lynette's going to bat for me here in talking about the importance of, you know, or the value of being able to come talk to us on these lives and ask us questions. And this is one of the things that I realize this is like a game changer in the industry, is the access that you have to us. This is like our customer service right here. I could hire, you know, customer service people to answer phones all day, and they're not necessarily as educated or and have the knowledge to answer these questions the way that you need them answered. So this gives us the ability to answer the questions. So now you have to realize that every question that you ask, there's another 15, 20, there's probably hundreds of people that are thinking the same thing that just never asked a question. So this gives us the ability to connect with all of you and answer the specific questions that you're looking for. And if you have very specific questions, we can address them. Now, obviously we don't have all the information here on you, so we can't give like quotes because we need to see pictures of you. If you have medical conditions, you know, we need to address some specific stuff, but it gives you the ability to really connect with us on a different level.
Yeah, and listen, this is the interviewing process, okay? How many times have we gone into a medical clinic and you have all this anxiety because you have no idea who the provider is? Is he gonna be a good provider? Are you gonna get along with him? Listen, we're cutting to the chase. You're gonna get exposure to us and our personalities and the way we speak, the way we think, and the way we do things right here. So, I mean, if we jive and you feel like you get along with us, come see us. If not, there's a lot of other clinicians that are out there doing this. Maybe not doing these videos, but you know, keep looking. But I'm telling you right now, there are very few people that are giving this type of access to their medical practice, and you know, that's why we're doing it, so you can feel comfortable.
Hey, Gabriella, I know that, I remember you now. It was on the 3rd of January, and I was coming back from vacation, and Brandy was covering me, so she did some of those paid consultations. If you feel like you want to talk to me, and I know you paid for the expedited consultation, so if you feel like you want to talk to me, just call the girls at the office, and I can give you a call tomorrow. Just give them your name and number, and just let them know that you wanted to talk to me directly. So I'll take care of that for you. But I appreciate that you're saving, and like, this is, however you're looking at this, it has to be an investment in yourself. And I'll tell you, because I'm an investor in, you know, financially, but I also invest a lot in myself, and I know that the most valuable and the biggest return that I've gotten on any of my investments is the stuff that I do to myself, and how I improve myself, because it's not what you get with what you put into it, it's what you become. Now you can get all these things and you can look a certain way, but it's what do you become mentally? What do you become as far as your confidence? What are you able to do in the future? This is the big difference. Someone that has a body that looks good, that feels good about themselves, they have the confidence and the ability to do more. That's the difference. That's the value. That's why this is so important.
Located in Henderson, Nevada. I think there was a couple of questions about how do you get a consultation. Jump on the webpage, go to the job form, submit your photos, a little bit of information, schedule a time, and we'll reach out to you. Or the best way to do it, when you, if you're serious, is to pay for the paid consultation. You pay $100. That $100, if you book, goes towards the cost of your procedure, and it basically puts you on the front of the line, and you talk to Trevor or myself, and we discuss what your expectations are, what you're looking for, and we walk you through the whole process, and we basically put you in the front of the line. So it's an amazing option. I know most, I don't know, there are, you know, some clinics that are doing free consultations, but I think most everybody is doing at least a $50 consultation fee. We made it $100, and we're saying we're going to credit that to your procedure. So that's I don't know. I think that's pretty generous. We're just, if you're ready, we're ready. So it shows commitment on your part, shows commitment on our part.
So here's a good question: can someone with scoliosis get lipo?
Absolutely, yeah. So scoliosis is just, you know, the way that your back is basically turning or bending, or the curvature. I mean, we're not doing anything that's going to go ahead and touch any of those nerves or your spine. We're staying in the fat layer, and we're removing the fat.
You know what might be a consequence though of with scoliosis is the fat might actually cover up the shape that the scoliosis causes, and by taking away the fat, it might make it more obvious. Possibly. I don't know your situation, but I'm just kind of brainstorming a little bit
Or,
here.
you know, if you have severe scoliosis and you're carrying a lot of excess weight, maybe you need to get rid of some of that excess weight, and it's going to help alleviate or, you know, prolong that degeneration process.
Maritza agrees. You should be your biggest investment. No regrets.
Absolutely.
Kathy says that our live access has helped her gain knowledge and that she wouldn't have gained elsewhere. Less invasive, encouraging results. What to look for.
So here's a question. How long is the paid consultation quote good for?
3 months.
3 months is what we're doing. Yeah. So, you know, once we lock you in on a price, it's good for 3 months.
And really, it's good forever, but we just want to make sure that you don't go out and gain a significant amount of weight in you know, the 3 month time period. So we just want to protect ourselves. But if you send us, you know, updated pictures and you know, nothing has changed, then the quote should stay the same.
Jay McFar 901. Yeah. So the question is my sister-in-law, was that lipo 360 or just the front of her stomach? So yeah, I got super aggressive with her, and I went all the way around. If I had it to do again, I would break this up into 2 procedures, but I didn't have a whole lot of time. I only had 1 shot at it, and so I got really aggressive with it. And I feel like if I would have broke it up into 2 procedures, the results would have been even more remarkable, but time constraints did not allow me to do that. So
let's talk about a little bit real quick, because we're coming to our conclusion here. But so when you try to push the limits, like I know you said you pushed the limits on her and did a little bit perhaps too much, what starts to happen when your body can't tolerate these things?
Well, one of the things that happens, probably the most common thing that happens, is surgical shock. Surgical shock is where your body has a certain amount of fluids, electrolytes, proteins, complements, all of these things that are naturally in your body. And when we traumatize an area, i.e. take out the fat, your body says, oh my gosh, there's something wrong there. Let's send everything, all hands on deck. Let's send everything down there to repair what's going on. And so you get this fluid shift, and you can go low on your electrolytes, and you can have a low blood pressure, which can cause, you know, you to have syncopal events, very lightheadedness. So that's the biggest concern, is the surgical shock. You can also have lidocaine toxicity buildup if you use too much lidocaine, which can cause problems with mentation, problems with nausea and vomiting, not being able to keep anything down. So we're cognizant of all of those things. So when we push the limits, we consider all of it, and we make sure that we do this safe for your body, and we monitor your body the entire time.
So part of our goal, our job here, is to keep it safe for the patients. And when we bite off more than we can chew, what happens is we put this you at risk, and then we get to the situation where if you're not tolerating it well, then we need to cut at that point, which may not be finished. So I want to finish and I want to get results. That's my goal. And so when we break it up into smaller procedures, we can get more out of that one localized area and get better results because we don't have to face the problem of your body not tolerating this.
Yep.
So that's one of the biggest advantages, and that's why we can get better results by splitting things up.
And don't worry, listen, we care about every one of our patients. Once they become a client or a patient of ours, we treat everybody like family. And so we give you our personal cell phones after the procedure. And while you're in town, we require that everybody kind of sticks around for about 48 hours so that as you're healing and going through those first couple of days, which are the biggest risk, if something happens, you can call us up and we can help, get you through those first couple of days.
And that says after your procedure, you eat light meals or something, take the meds.
So the idea is after your procedure, you want to stay hydrated, you want to get as much fluid in as you can, and then you want to get whatever calories your body can take in. So whatever tastes good to you. It doesn't really matter what you're eating as long as it's calories, okay?
She was pointing out, she said afterwards she had a hard time keeping food down, so when she ate, she threw up.
Mm-hmm.
So like everybody's a little bit different. Some people get like that, and a lot of this has to do with the amount of medication that we utilize and the volume of fat. So this is how your body reacts. It's traumatic to your body afterwards. So you're gonna get some of these reactions. That's natural. That's the way it is. Everybody gets through it, but dealing with some of these issues is just a little more challenging sometimes.
And how many of you out there like heart shapes, right? There you go. There's a BBL, nice little heart shape. Goes from the box frame or the rectangle frame. Everybody's seen this particular body style in, the middle-aged female that's had a couple of kids, and liposuction around the midsection, fat transfer to the butt gives her an entire new look. And yes, I've gotten a couple of texts from her husband saying, thank you so much for helping my wife.
Okay, Miss My 3 Angela. Do you have to be awake during this procedure? So our patients are all awake. So if you chose to come with us, all of our patients are awake. Now we do utilize, if you want, anti-anxiolytic, so anxiety medications to help calm your nerves, and it makes you drowsy, but you're awake still. If you want to be put to sleep, the plastic surgeons, that's the old way of doing these procedures, but if you want that, the plastic surgeons all do that. Now, just the concerns that you got to be worried about is in general anesthesia, that's where the medication they give you stops you from breathing, and they put a tube down your throat, so they have to breathe for you. There's lots of potential problems, and all the potential problems, not all of them, but a lot of the major potential problems with any procedures comes with general anesthesia. So the Tumescent technique, the way that we do it under local anesthesia while you're awake, is the safest and the most cost effective.
Yep, and today there's never been a death from Tumescent liposuction, okay? There's been deaths from going under general anesthesia and doing liposuction under general anesthesia, but there's never been a recorded death that the direct cause was from Tumescent liposuction.
So Norley Acosta says, how long should we wait for round 2 with the BBL? So if you were one of those people that did the front of the abdomen first and then we're coming for round 2 with the waist and the backside with the BBL, that would be, we would recommend about 30 days, so a month. And obviously that's just going to depend on the individual. This is how well you heal. If you heal well and everything goes great, then a month should be reasonable for you. Sometimes you might take a little bit longer. It just depends on how you're healing.
So EC Fashion Jules asks, have you ever lost any patients in the process or days or weeks later? Well, first of all, nobody would ever admit that they've lost a patient. So, I mean, that's kind of a loaded question that you're trying to ask or get information for. But the honest answer is no. Tumescent liposuction is extremely safe, and nobody has ever been lost or had any major complications after Tumescent liposuction.
Right. So if you're doing research, you're really concerned about death. First of all, like that's kind of morbid. If you're trying to search for death, just because it happened to a very, very small percentage of people doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. But if you want to go search that stuff, just know what you're looking for and realize the difference. There's a difference between general anesthesia and local anesthesia. And from my understanding, in all my research in Kales, we haven't found any any deaths with the tumescent technique. That's not just from us, it's from all doctors who do the tumescent technique. The deaths that have come from liposuction were with general anesthesia, and overwhelmingly they were with plastic surgeons.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and it's a technique. It's not that this plastic surgeons, it's just that plastic surgeons do it that way. It's a technique that sucks.
Well, general anesthesia basically takes you to as close to death as you can be without actually dying, so it's extremely risky.
Propofol, which is the medication that they utilize to put you to sleep, is the medication that Michael Jackson died from. And the reason Michael Jackson died from it is because it stopped him from breathing, that's what it's supposed to do. It's not that it's supposed to, that's what it does, and it stopped him from breathing, and they weren't able to intubate him.
So Lynette asks, she makes a comment, you can also get cleared by a primary care physician. Yeah, listen, we consider everybody's health paramount, right? Because to come to our facility, undergo liposuction, and not be able to wake up the next day, that's pretty counterintuitive, right? We care about all of our clients. We want to give you the best possible, experience that we can. And listen, we make sure that you're a good candidate. So if you have medical comorbidities or medical conditions, you list them. We take a look at them. We consider what they are. And if we believe that it might not be safe or risky, oftentimes we'll send you to your specialist or your primary care doctor, and we'll say, we'll give them all the information. This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. We'd like to bring you in on this decision to undergo this procedure. And if they think it's safe and we can get their sign off, then we do, okay? Because we want to make sure that you have a good procedure and everything turns out well.
All right, we're going to end this now. Thank you so much for watching. If you are ready to make a change in your life, ready to transform everything, and decide today that you want to make a difference, the next step is getting that consultation. In Facebook, there should be a link up in the post there. On Instagram, it should be up on our profile, and on YouTube, it's in the profile as well. If you can't find any of those places, we have a link on our website to get the consultation. Get the consultation, we can give you an accurate quote and devise a plan to change your life and give you some of these dramatic results. And you too can be just like these people up here, where you lose that belly and lose that hanging flap. Someone mentioned earlier that the flap was gone, and that's the way this works. You take out all the fat and the flap goes away. So it can be you. This is not just one or two people. This is happening consistently. So when you're ready, get that consultation, and let's get your life change started. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.